Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what it is. Your boy Professor Pippi back in this bitch on I Trade the Agent trying to get active, trying to get live. Ugh. It has been one of them weeks on AU. Smashed up some profits, also smashed up some losses. But kind of just wanted to come back with a compare contrast type situations um from the weekend analysis based off what I was looking for on AU. Suffered some losses early in the week. Got clapped up a couple of times. As we were looking to say, from the this bar replay, we're doing some back testing, but from the bar from the weekend analysis, we were looking at AU kind of like this. To say that the 4 hourly high, which would have been right over here, had just been broken. This zone right up here from that high to that low. This low pushed up and created this high. So what we were saying was at the beginning of the week, potentially we could see some heavy retracement. Um, we didn't get that. We had price action kind of like lined up like something like this right here. We didn't get that. We got price action immediately started pushing bullish, and I think that was due to what was taking place over the weekend, plus what price action was meant to do on Friday. Either way, what happened was price action pushed up. I was like, well, damn, if it gonna keep pushing like that, I'm gonna go ahead and hop in. So I waited because I felt like this was too early within the market to try to hop in. Even though it did push above that 4 hour resistance. So I waited for a price action to come back down, then I hopped in. My first trade looked something like this. Long position from like somewhere right over here on the 15-minute. And then I had stops right beneath her. And what was I targeting? Somewhere back in up in her. Something like a 4 hour imbalance right up in there. Let's see what it looks like on a 4 hour time frame. The imbalance would have been the next one. Would have been something like this. So that's what I was targeting. That's what I was looking for. I didn't think that was gonna happen all during the Asian, but I did think that was during the Asian session I can give me an excellent entry on these, and then potentially throughout the London and New York session from the what was that Sunday? So Monday's New York session or London morning, yeah, Monday morning London session, New York session Monday morning would have pushed me up into the highs. Only 47 pips, not that far. What had happened was price action came down um throughout the London and throughout the New York, and I ended up holding this trade all that time and got clapped up right over her. So um once we got clapped up over here, I was like, okay, well, price action looks like it's setting up to do that retracement we talked about on the weekend now. So guess what your boy did? I tried to hop into some shorts, something like this right up here during the Asian session, and price action came down, and we got clapped up again. I was targeting something like right down here. And we got clapped up again. So at this point, I'm shitting. I'm like, dang, had I had a bigger stop loss, or just wait to see how price action reacted once it came back into the supportive area right here. Why is this a support? Because price action pushed up, came down, reacted, came back down, reacted again. Support right here, established support, retested and verified. So if I just waited a little bit longer, because I'm trading off of forex.com. So when I look at the shit for forex charts, price action clearly closes below the support level right here. So I'm like, okay, that's what I need to see. I want to hop in to go short, and I'm gonna try to go short, and I got clapped up. Even though, over here, probably about 18, it probably wasn't even that many pips on the stop loss. Right over here is probably it was less than 10 pips right over here on this stop loss. Very minimal losses, but at the same time, I'm trying to get active. I don't want to fucking lose. I want to fucking win. So what happened was, lose right over here. And I said, okay, what the hell is really going on? So then the next Asian session comes up. I see price action push up right here throughout Tuesday Asian session and Wednesday's London session and then New York session. So I'm like, come back to the Asian session. I want to hop in these buys. When I see the setup for the buys, I measure out how far until price action reaches that high, and I was like, I'll probably catch a pip something right up in there. Then if it makes it, it could go way up there. It didn't only go on 15 pips. What I saw in live time, I only counted out 12 pips. So I was like, nah, I ain't gonna get in. I'm gonna let it, you know what I'm saying, do its thing. So I skip here and then I watch it throughout Wednesday's New York session. Not really wanting to hop in, but what I did see on the 4-hour time frame, refresh that thing, there was an imbalance right over here. And I said, okay, well, this push to the top side did not break the high, so this should become liquidity. And if it does become liquidity, where could price action be coming to retest from the higher time frames? And when you outline that imbalance for the 4-hour time frame, it don't look like much on the hourly. But when you recognize it on the 4-hour time frame, and you just come down and you draw up them confluence, you say, "Oh, look it." So throughout the New York session on Wednesday, price action taps in. Now, my only problem at this point is it's 1 o'clock on a Wednesday. Like I said in the backtest video, price action usually just like to consolidate after 12 o'clock on and during the New York session. So what had happened was we tapped here. I saw the bullish close. I waited for the next candle, saw the bullish close. And I was like, oh yeah, we going big bully. So what had happened was during the next agent session, your boy this time hopped in for them longs. I think I got in pretty high, somewhere right up in here. You know what I'm saying? I have my stops down here because I said if price action breaks through that imbalance, then the trade is invalid anyway, and then it's probably gonna keep going bearish. And then I went back to target that other imbalance that I had that created several weeks ago. So hopped in that trade. My stomach did get to bubbling because once I got in, we pushed in the profit and then we leaped to the downside. And I was like, damn, it got me again. But something just say, hold on. Pips is coming. Oh, don't you worry. But yeah, so when I woke up this morning, trade was closed out. I was happy. I did a little dance in the room when I looked at the terminal. I was like, yes, Lord, I finally caught one. I finally got it. Finally got it. And then that brings us into tonight. Now, tonight makes it a little bit difficult because we are continuing bullish on the 4-hour time frame, and we are continuing bullish on the hourly. But once this price action started to come down here, I see us close below here. I'm a little shaky about taking these buys right over here. So what my confluence was on the 15-minute time frame, price action is bearish right here. So in order for price action to signify to me that we are done with this bearish time frame, I need to see price action close above a lower high on the 15-minute time frame, which is identified right here in the red. So what had happened was I let price action push all the way up. Right here is that 5 o'clock hour, them 4 candles right there. 6 o'clock, we came out and we just closed right above. And like I said on the last video, it's a little early for me to be getting in because I know price action can get screwy between here and 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is usually when I like to get active. But yeah, so I see this push up here and I see it pull back down. I'm ready to hop in at this point. Right here is 7 o'clock. I'm like, damn, it's still kind of early. And I see this candle take off, boom, way up there. So I'm like, oh shit, I might have missed. It might just keep tugboating along. So what happened was this great candle right here started to push down. I hopped in based off of that candle, just thinking there was going to be a retracement. The very next candle flushed to the downside. Now before, I had stops way down here. Flushed to the downside. So my stomach is sick. I'm like, oh, here we go again. Then I thought, I was like, well, shit, when we got in that other trade earlier this week, Preston counted that same thing. It just shot off to the downside. What I kind of forgot to tell myself was all this right here is internal liquidity that's building. Same thing that happened right over here. And before price action makes a really big move, you want to see some form of liquidity being grabbed, which is what took place over here. Liquidity from all these higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Whoop, stop all these people out who were trying to buy. Go ahead and grab them, pull back, fake like we're going to continue to go lower. So people who are thinking price action is going to return or reverse and go bearish from here, they hop in again and then move back, boop to the top side. Right back in over here, pretty much the same thing. Even though I don't like these equal highs and price action coming back down kind of strong right here. But same thing right here, higher highs and higher lows. We dropped once, higher highs and higher lows, dropped again, grab all of this liquidity from people who are trying to buy or trying to get in from here. And then just pushed up to the top side. So right now, sitting in okay profits. Um, had them pushed up as far as 10 pips. Was looking for TP1, pushing back into rejection areas over there, 15 pips. This is coming down strong. Don't like that. But was looking for a price action to come up into this TP1. I was gonna take some profits out because it is Thursday, tomorrow is Friday. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I only drew this red box here because that's where my trailing stops need to go. So this is not really, it's for the most part just support for me. Something I want to identify for myself. But potentially because this has pushed 10 pips, in my rule book, any trade that has pushed 10 pips, stops should automatically be trailed to break even because at 10 pips, most people don't catch 5 pips, most people don't catch 8. You didn't push 10. So I mean, you could close or you could trail the stops even more and let price action do its thing. Now, if it come back and stop you out because you only push 10 pips, hey, that's what it is. That's the life of a scalper. I'm not a swinger, I'm a scalper. And when you become a scalper, you come up with all these crazy ass scalper rules because you done lost so many times in the past. And one of the things that I saw earlier from in the career was that if you let price action push 10 pips and it comes back to make you lose, so get stopped out by 12 pips, that's your own damn fault. You should have lost that trade. It's your fault because you had ample opportunity to trail the stop. So a part of me right now, especially with it being Thursday, especially with me winning this trade right over here, kind of somewhat recovering from the buy loss scandal right over there. Kind of wants me to trail these stops right up here. But another part of me is like, no, let's see what it do. Now, in the past, when we took the standpoint of let's see what it do, we got clapped every time. So, part of me is like, yeah, just go ahead and trail. That way you did get in. You was reading correctly. You just didn't profit from it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Fuck it. We go ahead and oh yeah. I think now had we already pulled down and then pushed back up and broke some highs right over here because this candle is bearish, yeah, I would be more than happy to uh trail the stops. But when you read in price action and you say higher high, higher low format, you had a higher high, new higher low, higher high. That new higher low hasn't been created just yet. So this pull all the way back down. As long as it don't break this low and then reverse and go back higher, it's still bullish. That's my only hang up with trailer stops right now. But you know what? Fuck that and all that shit. Since we got two positions in, I think I'm gonna trail the stops on the biggest one. Well, and that's the other thing with trading with Forex.com is once I trail the stops on my largest position, it's going to automatically trail the stops for the second position. That's one of the things I do not like about you hear that? Trail the stops. That's one of the things I do not like about Forex.com is it's got that first in, first out rule. So my bigger position was entered first. Once price action started to pull back a little bit more, I got in on a smaller position than this one up here. So now I got two positions running. But yeah, that's a frustration of trading Forex.com. It is what it is. Thought I heard somebody moving. Right now. So, but yeah, that's where we at on. We pretty much can get rid of this, and that's pretty much what the chart's looking like right now on AUD USD. Now with the back testing session I just did, I wanted to do like a continuation from what we did or what I did the other day, and I just going through and doing it on GU reminded me why I only really trade AU during the Asian session. Because one of the things I noticed is that every time price action came up to the Asian session and I was looking to get busy, it only consolidated 4-5 bars in a row. It moved left to right. The right, left to right, yeah, left to right. Didn't do nothing. So from the time the Asian session opened to the time pre-London came about, price was in the same spot. So GU is not a pair to trade during the Asian session. What I did was I did lose 2 trades on GU for that back testing. Let me see if I can get back over to it. Now this is not the one that I recorded. This is the one I just did on my lonesome. But it's right over here. And basically what I'm doing right over here, even though GU doesn't get active during the Asian session, was just testing out my strategy, seeing if what I'm doing really makes a difference or if it's kind of trash. And the first trade lost 20 pips. Bam. Second trade lost 20 pips. Third trade won 23 pips. Fourth trade took off partials because of how far price action had moved, 52 of them pips, and then trailed the stops, and then the trailing stop got stopped out at 13 pips. Fourth trade or fifth trade for the week closed 50% at 20 pips, and then the other 50%, this one actually hit TP versus the trailing stop. So um, it was a profitable little week right up in here from this weekly open to this weekly close. I don't know, it's not going to take me back to the exact spot, but so I will be doing another back testing video here shortly. I would have did one tonight had AU not started giving me what I wanted to see to get active. But fortunately it did. And as far as targets on this, I'm not 100% sure of what I should be targeting. I'm just trying to see if price action will push back into resistance based off the 4-hour time frame, because overall, when we looked at this, I was conflicted as far as how to identify my daily high. This would have been, so the high is way up there, high to the lower high area that pushed and gave you a new lower low, or which could have been. Let's go to the data. Fuck it. Made it a lot more easier to explain. Why I'm trying to explain why I'm conflicted on where to take profits. So the high to the low, because we broke structure right over here with this whole push right down here. We pulled back, breaking structure on the 4-hour time frame. So that range right there has been verified. We broke the low right over here with these. And then we came down and pulled back and came down again and pushed above this high. So for me, this range right here is now verified high to the low. And then price action last week broke that low. So now the range is from here to here. Well, price action this week clearly has broken above that high right over there. So as far as seeing where price action is going to go now, it's just in a really, for the most part, in a push phase for me on the daily time frame. So I got my daily low identified. Structure on the 4-hour start to form up bullish or continue to go bullish. And right now we got the most recent higher low that made the most recent higher high. And now I'm trying to trade from the bottom back into that resistance. So that's the only thing I can for sure target is the highs, but it could go higher. And then you got multiple highs right over here. You do have a big pool of liquidity sitting right over here. So we could just smash up through there, but I don't think that's going to happen during the Asian session. So what I was pretty much doing was, because tomorrow was Friday, I don't really like trading on Fridays. I'm trying to get in and get out, just hoping we can push up in there, capture TP1, let the rest run right up there, and then go from there. As far as comparing contrast for the rest of the pairs, looking at UCAD, what we said on UCAD was the daily was bearish, 4-hour was bullish, and we were looking to see what would have happened once price action closed above this low 15-minute resistance right over here. So it wasn't until right at the Asian session on Monday that price action pushed above, retraced, did not break the low, looking left, and then it continued to push bullish. Could not have told you I would have been real confident in taking these buys just because of how choppy this price action is. When I see price action break out of zones or break structure, I want to see like some volume behind it. Look at this big ass candle here. I want to see some volume behind it, telling me that that's really where price action want to go. And you see how he's choppy with these long ass wicks. So when I looked at UCAD early in the week, I was like, we already feel the imbalance. We did react bullish, and then it just don't look like something I really want to risk the money on. So right now we're sitting within this hourly range. Key factor for me to say if we're going to continue to go bullish, I want to see price action close above this little 15-minute level right here. If it don't, then potentially it could go bearish to retest this 1-hour support and even go deeper and start breaking structure looking left, and then be resuming that daily trend. But right now the daily is bullish, or the daily is bearish, the 4 hours bullish, and then the 1 hour is bearish. So it's real twisted up over here on UCAD. Looking at GU, GU is that one that I was like, well, based off of what the chart is looking like, or based off of what the structure is looking like, we should be going bearish. But based off of what price action is actually doing, we could go big bully. And we said that this candle was a liquidity grab with a strong bearish close, so we could come back bearish, but we did push above 1 hour resistance, signifying that price action does kind of want to go bullish. And the results are price action was bullish. How we could have got active off of this, based off of what we were talking about earlier in the week. We wanted to see if this imbalance was going to get filled, and it got left out of the game. So bumping down to that hourly time frame, what I think I would have looked for here was a price action, and we price action pushed up and pulled back and created a little bit of support here. We pushed up, broke the highs looking left. I don't know if the candles are big enough for everybody in the back to see. We're gonna make them a little bit bigger. So we pushed up, came back down, created a little support. Weekly open is where we just took off from there. We came back, pushed below there. So potentially right up in here, probably will start looking for shorts. But the hourly range hadn't been broken. So I probably the safest play would have been to wait for the hourly range to be broken. Because right now we're kind of consolidating within the hourly range. So pretty much wouldn't have been looking for anything right here. We closed above. Now, once we closed above here on New York session on Tuesday, then it potentially could have became a game of, okay, well, let's see what potentially could happen. So you just start to draw up and line up those confluences. So the same way we identified the imbalance right back over here on Tuesday, the New York session, we created an imbalance. So potentially what I could have did was just waited for price action to see if it was going to retrace back to that imbalance. We had one opportunity, the end of the New York session on Wednesday, and then we had a couple more opportunities. Wait, what was that? Oh no, this was London session. London session on Wednesday, we had an opportunity to get in, and then London closed New York session on Wednesday. We had an opportunity to get in, and then that thing just pretty much took off from there. So for 104 of them things, I would have been done for the week. No more trading if we catch that whole thing. Potentially, probably would have been targeting the high, which is only 60, which is 62 pips. But if you had let that thing run, and then we had a 4-hourly imbalance identified right up there, and potentially, definitely could have had some gas coming off of GU this week. And like I was saying on the weekend analysis, we had GU lined out. We had some opportunities where we could have got active, but like I started off at the beginning of this video, GU does not move during the Asian session. So like right over here, right now it's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So the Asian session would have opened 3 hours ago, right here. Look what it's doing. Nothing. A bunch of nothing. Price action is in the same spot from where it first opened up at. So GU is not a pair to look at during the Asian. London session, New York session, get busy, get active. Clicking over to UJ, UJ is still stuck within that hourly range. So kind of just like we had on GU right now, a bunch of nothing. You want to see price action either break the hourly high or break the hourly low, and then just try to catch you a retracement, line some confluences up, and then get active. Right now, GU or UJ is a scratch for the week. Nothing going on over there. Over to GU. GU, we were saying that price action is bullish on the daily, bullish on the 4-hour, and because we have not seen a 4-hour support be broken yet, this is still in an expansion phase on the daily time frame. So all one push for me. And we're still making higher highs and higher lows. So we got the 4-hourly support to the high, higher low that created and gave you a new higher high. So coming from the weekend analysis, we were trying to see how price action was going to break out of that 1-hour support. Was it going to break to the downside, which is something we pretty much didn't really want to see because this 4-hour support has already been retested. So potentially, if we would have came back down, we probably would have broke and kept going bearish, but we didn't. We found support within that 1-hour support, and we got up out of that thing. So 1-hour support never broken. Hourly support was broken, broke above, pulled back. How I potentially would have got busy here was same thing. Wait for price action to break out of that hourly support. And then depending on which side it breaks, try to build up some confluence. This is a 4-hour time frame, so we hop down to the hourly. We open up the week bearishly. We pushed above here. So anything to potentially line up, ooh, guess what we see? Once price action broke above that hourly support, guess what's available right there? That little imbalance. So that would have been a confluence to start trying to pile up and say, okay, well, we bullish on the daily. We are bullish on the 4-hour. That's not a daily imbalance, but bullish on the daily, bullish on the 4-hour. We just broke out of we just broke a resistance in an uptrend. So potentially what we could wait for is a retracement, get active if price action comes back into that imbalance. If it comes down here and starts throwing wicks, I'm hopping in. If it comes down here and closes below this imbalance like this, then yeah, I probably don't want to try and get in no buys. But because it came down and it closed the way it did, just like right up in here, all these wicks, yeah, I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to get active. And if you was at the charts, you had the first opportunity Tuesday, 2 o'clock New York session, Wednesday, London session, and then the last opportunity was Wednesday pre-New York. So several opportunities to enter into GJ, and that thing so far has pushed 160 of them things. Yeah. 160 of them things. Theoretically, probably would have called 140. Probably would have closed off half as we pushed back into 4-hour resistance. So don't let me cap. So probably would have closed everything at 70 of them things. But if you got the gobblestones to hold, I ain't got the gobblestones. Like I'm saying, until the end of the week. I am a scalper. Excuse me, scalper. Don't get it twisted. Price action would have been coming into that resistance right over there with these candles right up here. I mean, let me get that. I'm out. I don't need to see no more. But if you that dude or that gal that like to hold, there you go. So checking out my weekend analysis definitely can give you some insight on what price action potentially is going to be going. I've been trading for a little minute now. I ain't got rich yet, but I just ain't got my payment yet. That's the only thing. Looking at gold, for the most part, when I looked at gold, 4-hour time frame, gold pretty much just consolidating. High, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low. So on the hourly, we just broke hourly here. Pull it back. You could say this broke starts on the 15, but potentially new hourly ranges from here to there. So we could be waiting to see which way price action breaks out. Support. And then if price action just so happens to break bearish, I don't see nothing over here to where I think it should retest to. Just looking at this free form like this. I don't usually trade gold, so I don't, to try to say an imbalance or demand. I do see a little bit of a well, yeah, that demand kind of already got retested twice right here. As price action pushed up, came down, failed to create, and just got back up out of there. Potentially we'll identify the demand zone like this. Right there with those few candles. Demand, and then as you can see, these two candles already tapped. So if it came back down, I would expect it to keep going down. If we break this high, looking left, there was an imbalance left unfilled right over here. So if we broke to the top side, potentially I would look for a breakout trade above this high. Looking to capture up to like 150 of them things. Oh wait, no. Then 150, how many there? 16? Gold is because of the pip value over here is way different. Yeah, it's 160, 164 is 16. Is either 16.4 or is 164. I don't know. Like I said, I don't trade gold. Go ask somebody who do trade gold, but I will take them breakout buys up to 2051. Tomorrow is Friday. I don't know. I don't think there's any news to pop off to see if we can shoot straight up there or if it's gonna. Yeah, so tomorrow, Friday, Nathan. So be careful with doing breakout buys because you ain't got no gas. It's just gonna give you one big bully candle. So you could chop up there like this price action is right here. But yeah, outside of that, we trying to come on. Hey, you let me out. I don't be asking for much, bro. I got my stops and profits, so I ain't really tripping. Even though I only wanted to put stops and profit on my one position, trading over forex.com forces me to do it on both positions. With this candle struggling to break this high, I do see a possible quick retracement, something like on the 15-minute. Yeah, that candle goes bearish, breaks a low, come down and try to fill or retest that Asian high. It is what it is. We potentially could get stopped out at break even, which kind of says go ahead and close now. Or you got a little bit of profits on the table, but at the same time, it could scoot up out of there. It could. And I would want to cut my trade short when I sat through all of this, especially this big ass candle right here, because I was doing the back testing and I just so happened to glance up here and see that number. I was at like, when I hopped in, it was like 625, 630. When I look back up here, it was like 5, almost going into 4 something. I was like, oh, what happened? Switched over charts real quick. But yeah, right now, price action doing this thing. I think I'm gonna keep doing a little bit more back testing videos because even though I'm back testing on GU, which is not an Asian session pair, it does open my eyes to insight as far as so if you're a GU trader and you watching this video, the thing I can tell you, don't trade during the Asian session at all because you're gonna lose your money. The price action on GU cranks up in pre London. It gets busy. It starts at 1 o'clock in the morning, pre-London. You might see a one candle that push for 10, 15, 20 pips at 1 o'clock. Um, at London open, 3 o'clock, it always manipulates the zone that it's closest to. So if price action is doing this right here, it always manipulates. So this would be a manipulation here, push above, come right back in, and then drops off. Price action on London always pushes up and then comes back down, pushes down and goes back up. From the last week that I just back tested on, that was where I continually got into. And that was also how I was able to potentially line up some setups as far as how to get in. And then, yeah, that was pretty much it. I like this. I saw it liking to manipulate at 3 o'clock and then continue to New York. One of the things that I did also notice is if the London pushed you bully, or if the New York or the Asian pushed you bully, the London pushed you bearish. The New York session like to retrace the opposite of the London session. So if the London session went bullish, the New York session like to go bearish and then potentially go back up to continue. Or if the London session went bearish, the New York session like to go bullish and then, pull back, push you, all that extra shit. You have to go back and do your own back test research to kind of figure that shit out. But outside of that, that's pretty much all I got. I'm gonna get back to this back testing. I don't want to turn this compare and contrast video into a back testing session because it'll be all too much. Video will be way too long, but that's all I got for this one, man. I'm kind of sad that my trade is stalling out right here. I do think it's gonna pull back. I do think I'm gonna get trailed out, but it is what it is because we caught some gas right over here. Let me see how many pepperonis. How many pepperonis? 30 of them things we caught last night. 30 of them. Some Gucci. Gucci probably right at a break even week because of the buy to sell situation that we got hopped up in right here. But it is what it is. I wish, and part of me, when I was looking at this, when I was hopping in, it was like right at 7 o'clock, right off this candle right here. Part of me said, just wait a little bit longer. But when I seen price action closing above this zone right here, blink that. When I seen this big ass candle start to produce at 7 o'clock, I was like, man, I'm not letting price action. I ain't had no FOMO, but at the same time, I've been sitting here, I'm waiting on the trade, and the trade looks like it's there. So go ahead and hop in and whoop right back to the downside. So I could have had some sniper entries. And the other thing was, as price action is pushing above this candle right here, trading off of forex.com, I had an excellent entry, but by the time price action entered me into the trade on forex.com, my entry is right up here, way up here somewhere. Like price action was down here, in the 500 something still. By the time it entered me, it was like 630. Price action hadn't even got up that high in the charts just yet. I'm like, man, what is this bullshit? But it is what it is. I'm gonna keep rocking. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do the weekend analysis this weekend. I do know I got prior engagements tomorrow. I do know I got prior engagements on Saturday. I don't know if I have prior engagements just yet on Sunday. If I got time and my kids ain't trying to play monkey man, hang out the back of the chair and throw spaghetti noodles and hit me in the back of the neck with it, I'll probably get on here and get active. But if I have to beat some ass, then I'll probably be able to get on. They be testing my pimp. But outside of that, that's all I got for y'all there. I'm about to slide up out of that thing. I'm out of there. Yeah.